again, this is Tom from Powerside. Again, short video on the IPC. You can hear it's a little bit noisy now because we've connected to the equipment under test. You can hear that it's operating. So before we go and fire our first disturbance and start the process of testing, let's see where we are in terms of the gauges. Let's see the settings on the IPC, and let's see what we would recommend you do as a beginning to the test process. So here we can confirm we still have our line to neutral on the source side. We have line to neutral on the load side, which is as we would expect. And here on the line 1 load, this is the nominal current of the equipment under test. So you can see we have around 6 amps here. That is what we're drawing. We've got a resistive load, so we're not expecting any major inrush or any major disturbance to the process. But we don't know, right? We don't necessarily know all the characteristics. What we've done here is we've set the trip current to a reasonable level based on our nominal current, right? We want to protect your unit under test. So we've dialed down the trip current here, in this case to 10 amps. And now we go to inducing a voltage sag. Where would we start? I think if you look here, what is up here is an amplitude of 50% sag, so a 50% voltage drop for 12 cycles. I wouldn't recommend that you start with that. I think probably a conservative approach would be to go for a minor sag, let's say 90%, and bear in mind, you should understand that 90% is a 10% reduction in voltage, right? So read the manual, understand the operation of the IPC, but a 90% sag would be a good starting point. And I would reduce the number of cycles to a short cycle. Make sure your computer is connected, and let's go ahead and fire a short-term sag and see what the characteristics are when we induce a sag on the load. There's a number of other settings here, but let's just start with 90% and 2. Let's make sure that we're monitoring and we are set to the correct load. So this is line 1 to neutral, and then we're ready to go. We can arm the unit and then fire. And you can see that the unit returns to ready, it's recorded, and then we need to focus on the download and the characteristics of this sag and what it shows. From a recording perspective, we don't see any major disruption. It's resistive as we expected. There's no big change. And so comfortable that the unit is performing, that there's no major inrush, there's no trip, we can then go about starting the Semi F47, putting in the proper sequence of amplitude and cycles and running through the sequence of tests. So this is our recommendation. What we're going to do in a couple of other videos is show you the consequence of capacitive or other loads where the inrush can be a lot higher, and you can be surprised by the peak current that arises if you don't study and understand your system. So thank you. We'll join you in the next video.